PM News, I am your presenter, Naressa Bostwick. On the local scene, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has applauded the significant progress which has been made in the southern Grenadines following the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl. However, he says there is still a lot that remains to be done on the islands. The Prime Minister referred to as amazing the work that has been accomplished so far, emphasizing the importance of community groups in the execution of recovery efforts.
An amazing amount of work has been done in the Southern Grenadines in all of the three main islands there, in Canawan, in Mairo, and in Union. But a lot more remains to be done, particularly in Union, some still in Mairo. And in Mairo, I want to emphasize the importance of the community group there, headed by Desmond Lewis and other individuals and groups who are linked. And we're all working quite well.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. The southern Grenadines were the worst hit by the passage of Hurricane Beryl on July 1st, with Union Island being the worst affected island. In a heartfelt letter addressed to global leaders, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves urgently called for a negotiated end to the ongoing war in Ukraine. The letter sent to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, US President Joseph Biden, and United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres highlights the escalating dangers of the conflict, particularly the looming threat of nuclear catastrophe. Prime Minister Gonsalves expressed profound concern over the human and global toll of the war, which has been ongoing since February 2022. He criticized the conflict as senseless and destructive, pointing out the extreme unreason exhibited by the main combatants and their allies, including NATO and the United States. Dr. Gonsalves stressed that continuing the war was no longer viable, urging the parties involved to seek peace despite inevitable dissatisfaction with the terms. In his plea for peace, Gonsalves cited the wisdom of poets such as Daniel Williams and W.B. Yeats, emphasizing the moral responsibility of world leaders to act decisively before humanity plunges further into catastrophe. He concluded his letter with a powerful call for change, urging leaders not to sleepwalk into a nuclear Armageddon. The Vector Control Unit here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is calling on the public to do their part in the battle to control the rodent population in capital city Kingstown. Field Assistant at the Vector Control Unit, Reynold Lynch, emphasized the importance of persons such as vendors and the stall operators doing their part, because while the Vector Control Unit continues to execute baiting exercises, he says this alone is not enough to eliminate the issue of the rodents.
And the specific rat that we focus on most of the time is the Norway rat, or the brown rat, or the sewer rat. Those are the names that the rat goes by specifically. And most persons in Kingston would be familiar with these because these are the rats that we see running around most of the time. So the Vector Control Unit would go around, do the baiting, do the sensitization with the vendors and the persons around, letting them know that the Vector Control Unit is here. We putting on the baiting, we would also like you as the vendor or persons around with the stalls or the shops, do your part to help us. Because baiting won't solve everything. And when we place the bait and then it starts smelling, that is another issue in itself.
That was Field Assistant at the Vector Control Unit, Reynold Lynch. In original news, former Suriname President Desi Bouterse died last week due to liver disease, the Public Prosecution Service, OM, has said. The Public Prosecution Service said the report of the autopsy had been received from the pathologist last weekend. The report shows that the probable date of death was Monday or Tuesday. The cause of death was determined to be complication of liver failure in severe liver fibrosis caused by chronic alcohol abuse, according to the Office of the Attorney General. Bouterse, who had been on the run since he was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in jail last December, reportedly died on Monday, December 23rd. The Public Prosecution Service said that the body will be handed over to the relatives and that the police investigation into the circumstances of how the body was transported from the as yet unknown hiding place to Bouterse's home will continue. The family and the National Democratic Party, NDP, that Bouterse founded, said they are hoping that the funeral will take place no later than January 4th next year. A mother of 3 has been thrown into mourning after losing one of her children in a fire at her small home in Cooper Street, Alboystown, Guyana, early yesterday morning. The dead child has been identified as 3-year-old Amani Abrams. According to a police report, little Amani was left alone at home with his 2 siblings, an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old. The 2 older children managed to escape from the building when it became engulfed in flames. A report by News Source Guyana says the mother of the children, Tandika Bailey, told investigators she works as a vendor and left the children at home at around 7 p.m. on Sunday to vend in the Regent Street area. She said she was preparing to head home just after 1:30 yesterday morning when she was contacted and told that her house was on fire. She said she hurried across to the scene of the blaze and was met by her 2 older children who told her Amani had been left behind as the heat forced them out. The child's charred remains were discovered in a section of the bedroom of the home. He was burnt beyond recognition. The Guyana Fire Service has launched a full investigation and continues to warn about unattended children being left alone at home. And finally, the news at this hour. The UN Human Rights Office says Israeli attacks on and around hospitals have pushed Gaza's healthcare system to the brink of total collapse and raised serious concerns about war crimes and crimes against humanity. According to BBC News, a new report describes a pattern in which Israeli forces struck, besieged, and forcibly evacuated hospitals, leading to patients dying or being killed. It acknowledges Israel's allegations that hospitals have been used by Palestinian armed groups, but says the evidence is vague. The Israeli military has not commented, but it has previously said its forces comply with international law and it takes measures to mitigate harm to civilians and minimize disruption to medical services. This has been WFM's 3 p.m. News. I have been your presenter, Naressa Bostwick. Our next newscast will be coming to you at 5:30 p.m. Be sure to join us then.
Clean or refreshed after using the bathroom, whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seat. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean, be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
Aye, 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 it's Christmas time again, boy. And it's barrel time again.
Are you clearing barrels, boxes, / cargo this Christmas season? Then, here are a few things to consider to make the process much easier. Prior to arrival at the Port Authority, collect all necessary clearance documents from your shipping agency. Ensure they inform you on the location of your goods, whether Port Kingstown, the Geese Shed, or Camden Park. And remember, when approaching the Port Authority, a valid ID is required. We now accept credit / debit card payments at the following locations: Cash Office Tailgate Kingstown, Port Admin Office Kingstown, Cruise Ship Terminal Cash Office, and Camden Park Cash Office. For your convenience, we have extended our cargo clearance